Hi, Michelle. How are you doing?
I'm great, Zelda. How are you?
I'm good. Getting ready for the holidays?
Very much so, yes.
That's great. That's great. Okay. Do you think that during the holiday period that people overeat and they don't exercise? How do we get these people back in shape?
Well, in answer to your question, yes, people might tend to not exercise and overeat during the holidays. That's kind of context specific because there's a lot more social engagements and things like that. But in terms of the reality behind getting back in shape, that's largely, that whole idea of getting into shape is a creation of mass media and business. And it's a bit of a mind game because it assumes that people were in shape in the first place. Exactly. So what we try to educate people at Medfit is to know that this is not a one-time thing. It's not, for your wedding or for bikini season or something like that.
That in fact is true. People get ready for those things. Oh, sure. And that's it.
And then they just forget about it, right? And let everything else sort of go to heck. So, you have to, if you want to live your best life and be optimally healthy, body, mind, and soul, you have to keep a very systematic way of doing things, eating and exercising and sleeping well and managing your stress. So the main message that we want to get across is that we want this to be a very fluid, somewhat flexible, because, you want to be able to enjoy times where maybe if there happens to be more food around or whatnot, it all balances out in the end.
Well, I think that you can eat practically anything you want if you exercise religiously. I have a friend that says to me all the time, I can't believe that you're so dedicated. She said, I can't do one exercise I've been trying to get her to do. She runs around in her job. But how do you get someone to feel motivated so that they will get in shape?
That's the $1 million question, right? And I mean, that's what public health educators and health promoters and, back in the 70s with the participation ads, trying to get people motivated because you sort of go the opposite end of the spectrum. You can't always scare the crap out of people, but sometimes that's what it takes. And other times, the enjoyment factor is a bit of a hard sell because most people equate physical activity with gym class back when they were growing up, and it was not a positive experience. But you contrast that with the majority of people enjoy moving. They enjoy going for a walk. They enjoy dancing. So the key, and what we try to do at Medfit is to bring it all together so that there's an understanding of, okay, we're doing something that's very purposeful, it's very focused, inject a little bit of fun and enjoyment, but help people develop that sense of well-being, that they have some control over their life.
Okay, now when you say getting in shape, there are a lot of people that are never going to be a Twiggy, God forbid, or any of these they're not role models. They're too thin or whatever. But the point is getting in shape for their body. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, and getting in shape as a phrase is actually very relative because getting in shape, if someone is more active, they might be measuring that from a performance standpoint or lean muscle mass. For some people, it literally is to fit into a size. So it's just about reducing and eating less and exercising like crazy. So there's too much of an imbalance the other way. So yeah, it's definitely a relative thing, but again, what we do at Medfit is we try to understand what it is that it means for you. If you want to use that phrase, what does it mean for you? How do you know? How will you know when you are in shape? Or if you have past experience of being or feeling that, what was it about that? Was it a particular weight? Was it a particular feeling? And we try to, as realistically as possible and appropriately as possible, try to recapture some of that, but bring it to where they are in their life right now.
Well, I think a lot of people look at models and people in the media or people on television or movies and think that that's their ideal icon. That's the person they want to emulate. And that's really not true because these are people that are not well and they need to get
They need
shape.
Medfit too.
That's right.
they need Medfit too, yeah. And a quick thing about Twiggy. Twiggy was naturally skinny. She wasn't starving herself. And again, that's the thing. You look at these images, we look at images of people, and we're more savvy than we ever were before. We know about Photoshop. We know about all these things. But especially in North America, we have a very restricted view of what is in shape and attractive. And people have to start appreciating their own gifts and their strengths. And that comes from a lot more education.
Well, losing weight is not that easy for many people. But if you couple it with the right kind of exercise, it's going to make it a breeze. People don't seem to realize.
Nope. And exercise and nutrition. Because you can have the best possible exercise program. If you eat like crap, it's going to you're not going to see the results that you want.
I think as I've aged, I've gotten into better shape than I was when I was younger, and that's because I'm much more focused on what's important. Anyway, Michelle, on that note, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
You too.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.